Thank you, everyone, for being here. Great crowd tonight. I'd like to welcome everybody to our fourth Austin Fast Start of the year, and this one is for the sustainable business. So I am Reese Cisneros. I am actually on the board of Austin Young Chamber, and I'm the chair-elect for next year. And I will be your MC tonight. I've been a part of Austin Young Chamber for about 7 years now, and so if you want to learn any more about Austin Young Chamber, you can head over there to the registration desk, come find me later, and ask me questions. Austin Young Chamber has been a big part of my life, and really just it empowers young professionals to kind of connect and grow within the community, within business, and just individual success. So a really great organization for me to be a part of, and we are putting on some great things, and this is just one example. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. I'm going to share a little bit about this event in particular. So tonight's Austin Fast Start is a quarterly pitch competition designed to support Austin's young entrepreneurs and businesses. The event tonight is presented by the City of Austin Small Business Program in partnership with Austin Young Chamber. As I mentioned earlier, cheers to you guys. Thank you. As I mentioned, Austin Young Chamber is partnering with them this year, and we are in the middle of our membership drive. So again, if you have questions, please let us know, and Alicia is over there to answer any of those. Let's see. I would like to thank our event partners for this quarter, which include Div Inc., 3-Day Startup, Austin Technology Incubator, Blackstone Launchpad, IC Squared Institute, and then Austin Public Library. So big round of applause for those guys. Thank you so much for being our partners. And I'd like to give one final thank you to our event sponsor, Insurion. Insurion makes finding small business insurance for your business easy. There's a really quick and easy online tool for you guys if you want to look on their website. And you can visit insurion.com to find that information. Now I'd like to kind of explain what's going to happen tonight and how this process works if you haven't been here before. So the application process started back in August, and the Young Chamber accepted applications for local sustainable business startups and small businesses. Sustainable business is described as a business that operates in a way that protects the environment, enhances the community, and maintains a healthy workplace. This time we had 35 applicants, which is amazing. The applicants were scored by 6 of our judges, and they all represent small businesses, startups, and sustainable business communities here in Austin. For the scoring process, we determined our top 4 finalists who are pitching tonight, so that's who you'll see tonight. Out of those 35, our judges selected 4 to present to you guys, and we will go to kind of a live voting after that. I would like to introduce our judges and thank them for being here. We have Paula Ivy, the president of the CSR group. We have Preston James, Chief Executive Officer of Div Inc. We have Aaron Keys, Director, Water and Food Incubator at the Austin Technology Incubator. We have Mary Pretty from Green Business Leaders Manager, Office of Sustainability at the City of Austin. And we have Mark Sanders, the Program Manager, Transportation, Mobility, and Water at Austin Technology Incubator. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting this event. Let's see. I'm going to explain, after these pitches go through, the judges are actually going to start asking questions, and we will open it up to the audience afterwards. You guys can see there's a microphone here in the center, so if you have questions, please line up here, and we'll go through questions there. There's a short window for questions, so we'll try to get to as many as we can. If we can't get to you, I apologize, but we just want to keep this kind of moving on, and if you have questions at the end, feel free to stop by and talk to anyone if you have questions. Let's see. I'm going to explain now the voting process. So After each 4 finalists have pitched this evening, we'll display on the screen a text-to-vote system. So everyone will have their own number, and you'll just text into that number, and whichever business you'd like to vote for, just text that in, and we will do kind of live voting, and it'll take a couple minutes for us. We'll give you guys about 5 to 8 minutes to just think through things, and then we'll go into the presenting our winner. A couple of housekeeping things. The restrooms are located right here, out this door and to the right, if anyone needs it. There might still be some snacks if you get a little hungry, and there's some drinks. And then you can also find the live stream of this. We're actually live streaming it on the Austin Young Chamber Facebook page, so if anyone's interested in that. So now I think I'm done with all of our housekeeping. I would like to go ahead and introduce our first business. If I can please welcome to the stage Mr. Robert Olivier, founder and CEO of Grubtubs.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us here tonight. This is absolutely a wonderful event. Can I give these back to you? So at Grubtubs, we're all about helping family farmers grow more good food locally in our community for our community. And the way we do that is by converting food waste into animal feed using grubs or insects. And there's a lot of food waste. And believe it or not, this is just from restaurants. And less than 5% of that is being recycled. The reason why is composting is slow. It takes weeks. It's very capital intensive. It's hard to permit. Everybody's not in my backyard, but we all love being green. Logistically complex, and it's plagued by low profit margins because compost has to compete with artificial fertilizers, and if they make electricity out of it, then they have to deal with, low profit margins in electricity sales. So all of that together, there's about 500 facilities in this country that accept food waste. That's less than 10 per state, and that's one of the reasons why we see no national food waste solution in this country. And so this is what we're changing here at Grubtubs. And believe it or not, just on restaurants alone, we're paying $4 billion a year to send that food waste to the landfill. But we have local farmers that are going broke in this country, and they're having right now the highest suicide rate in this country. So as we need to support local farmers, Grubtubs came up with a process, and it's very simple, it's scalable, it's sustainable, and unlike composting, that food waste is eaten within 24 hours by millions of hungry grubs, okay? That means that it's now fast, it's capital efficient, it's easy to permit, it's decentralized. There's 60,000 farms in this country versus those 500 landfills. And more importantly, it's profitable also for the restaurants that participate in the program, and our farmers are saving about $1,000 a month per 1,000 chickens that they have to save not buying feed from the feed store. So what is it that we do? Very simple. We collect food in the restaurants in a grub tub. The grub tub is clean, and it is placed everywhere someone in the kitchen is working. So it's licensed food handlers that put the food waste in a sealed container. Because the container is airtight sealed, now we don't have to worry about diseases getting in there and contaminating the animal feed later on. So no rats, no flies, but the restaurants really love it because it's clean, it's odorless, and so that makes a huge advantage. Then the second step is we bring those tubs to nearby farmers, which we get paid to do. If you get paid to take food waste to landfill, we get paid, but we're still saving the restaurant money. And then those grubs, or the grub tubs, sit there and are fed to the grubs 24 hours before the grubs are actually fed to the chickens or the pigs. So it is a very natural, circular business model. And so overall, what we're doing is we're growing grubs on food waste in order to replace soy and corn, which is the biggest expense for an organic farmer. So in order to make this work, we had to redo our grub tub we went through many different trials, but the biggest thing is we had to come up with a molecular composition on the plastic so that they would not stink. So we actually have a special coating that is a few Armstrong thick that is coating it. We filed for a patent application there. On the affordability side, what we had to really do is we had to go IoT on everything. That means that we have drivers that have 3/4-ton trucks and they drive for us at our sites. And then on the feed side, we made everything decentralized and on-site. So what we can do now is Austin's got about 50,000 tons of food waste. We could save our local farmers about $6 million a year in feed cost. And in order for us to scale, what we're looking for is every city that we go into, we need about 100 restaurants and 1 farmer in order to start our operation and be cash flow positive. So overall, that $4 billion number, we really see that there is not a national food waste solution. But this is a way that we can break through by working with farmers directly and disrupting that waste market that's billions of dollars. So our customer success has been amazing. We launched in February, and we've got like the W, Le Politique, Cook's Nook, and we also have had a lot of traction with South by Southwest, Creator Awards, Mass Challenge. And so from that perspective, our team is quite unique. 4 of our core members have all had multi-million-dollar exits. And what I'm really, really proud about is that of the 11 members that we have, we only have 2 white straight males, and that's it. So anyway, thank you very much, and thank you for all your attention.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. We are going to open up the floor for questions for our judges. So if you guys have any questions, there's a microphone right there, so you guys can pass that along. And then again, the audience, if you have questions, you can stand up here at the microphone and form a line if there are any questions.
Hello? Great. Okay, well, I'll kick it off. So you mentioned that the largest expense for an organic farmer was, I believe, corn and something else. Corn and soy. Are you specifically targeting organic farmers? And if so, what percentage of the market is that in terms of local farming?
So the organic livestock industry is growing at about 20% every year. We want more organic eggs, we want more organic meat. Yet we're importing right now about $300 million of organic soy from countries like Pakistan and Turkey, pretty much. So right there, that right there is a large enough market, because we all say America is we're the country of corn and soy, but when it comes to organic, we're not. And so that is a massive gap, yet the livestock industry is growing. And so when these farmers are having to purchase soy and corn at about $900 a ton from countries like Pakistan or Turkey, we're really not helping the local sustainable movement. So eventually what's going to happen is we're going to end up buying eggs and meat from those countries because it's going to be much cheaper to do it there. And so that's what we're stopping. Also, what you're looking at is that example. For Austin, we have access to 50,000 tons of food waste. That could replace 5,000 acres of soy right here in our community that we don't have to grow. And we're doing it on 3-acre insect hatchery, and we're able to do it with about 60 or 80 small farmers that we could be sustaining. So that, to me, is a much more impactful argument. And why organic? I think it's very simple. When people come here to Austin and they want to taste the local flavor, or tourists, they want something local beer. Now we can offer a local chicken that is regional to the climate and has that flavor. It is a premium product, it is a sustainable product, and it is an Austin product. Yeah?
So my question is, does the farmer pay? What is your business model?
So the farmer pays us for the actual hatchlings of the insects, and he can grow it on his farm himself. So it's actually the farmer that is controlling his destiny as a feed. The typical model here in the United States is that the feed store holds the farmer ransom. 70% of a farmer's cost is feed related. It is the largest agricultural expense in the United States. It is higher than labor. And so in that aspect, by halving that cost, we're allowing that farmer to produce a local food item that typically doesn't have a very big distribution network at wholesale organic prices to local restaurants. And so so the farmer, in a way, he's paying us for the hatchlings. The food he gets for free because the restaurant paid us to bring it there. And because everything's enclosed, it can sit there for 1 or 2 weeks. So he doesn't have to use it right away, you see? And then on the backside, eventually we would like to take our same delivery network and also bring food and eggs from those farmers back to the restaurants that are doing things. So we're looking at this entirely in a circular way, and all of our containers are reusable. And so that's really what the farmer is buying into, is looking at a way for him to scale. The biggest reaction I get from our farmers is I say, well, what happens when I can half your feed cost? And they go, I'll double my operation. And that's what we've seen has happened with our first farmer. He came in, and now he's doing a 21-acre expansion. He used to sell a few hundred birds to the farmer's market. Now he's got letters of intent from, for example, the Fairmont here, to buy about 30,000 birds next year from him. And that's a huge jump. And the Farm Service Agency has guaranteed his expansion with a multiple $100,000 farm loan. So it does impact, I mean, feed is very important to farmers.
Okay, question here. So I love what you guys are doing, and you guys obviously have a plan to scale through U.S. and globally. Can you tell me what the biggest challenges are going to be for you guys to really achieve your goal to scale, or what the competitive landscape is, or what would be some of the greatest challenges you would be facing to actually have you scale?
I think the scaling is, for example, why do you not see a food waste solution nationally? And I've put a lot of those challenges out there. It's slow, hard to permit, et cetera. By working with farmers, that's our strategic advantage. So we can get started really, really fast. For example, we launched in February, and we're right at cash flow positive right now. Not yet, but it's close. So we feel that in 6 months that you can go into a new city and start having that dialogue between the farmers and the restaurants about how we could do things better and change things around. I think that's a big thing. A lot of people, when it comes to the scaling, we also realized every investor we've met pretty much said, are you going to be managing a fleet? And so what we've done is we've said, okay, this has to go IoT. This has to go intelligent. And so every one of our drivers has a tablet right there in the cabinet. So we can control their routes. We can do, sometimes after a UT football game, we go to the convention center at UT, and they just filled up the whole trailer. That truck's got to come back to a farmer, right? So then we pick which farmer to go to, et cetera. So I think the biggest challenge is always going to be the logistical challenge. Do I have enough revenue for the capital that I'm deploying, and can that come in quickly enough? But I think the opportunity is also, there is no national food waste solution because you never see a marketing of a national food waste solution. By going to a Series A event, we want to do $1 million marketing solution that we can then repeat in every city that we go so that we can raise that awareness. And I think that's a very important ingredient, that the marketing is not there. You know, when people understand that there is a solution to this thing, and it's a natural solution, then the marketing message needs to come with that. And so I think that the advantage of scaling up is going to be a combination of good marketing and IoT.
My question is, your current model is based on helping farmers with chickens. Is this model going to be limited to just chickens for now, or do you intend to expand after the success of the chicken model to go to other meats for farmers to help reduce their costs as well? Because cows are one of the biggest costs as well, mostly on not just feed, but land as well, because they take the most.
I personally love that question, and every farmer that you have a few drinks with will essentially give you the real answers to those. Insects are absolutely the favorite diet of anything that's a monogastric, has one stomach. So goats and cows, I would have to say, we would need something else. When it comes to the ability to feed fish and offset fish meal, to feed pigs, that will also come in. So why chickens? Because it is the cheapest livestock with a very low barrier to entry for farmers to get into and to expand. Am I going to be supporting 60 farmers in 2 years from now in Austin, or am I going to be supporting 10 farmers that are 6 times bigger? And so for me, that's what is so exciting about poultry, is they'll double or triple their operation within months.
Thank you so much, Robert. Let's give him a round of applause. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for your questions. Now I would like to welcome our second finalist up to the stage. If we could have Ian Howard, the co-founder of ShowerStream.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thanks for being here. My name's Ian Howard, and I'm the co-founder of ShowerStream. We make smarter showers for hotels. So I'm sure most of you here have taken a shower before, and hopefully you've taken one today. And as you know, it usually takes a few moments for the shower to heat up. So you probably go brush your teeth or do another task while you wait. And when you return to the shower, you find that the water is hot, and the water has probably already been hot for a few moments. A recent study by Berkeley National Labs has found that 70% of people leave their shower empty after it's already warm. About 52% of people multitask after their shower is warm, and 30% of hotel guests use their shower to steam their clothes. That's a true fact. This figure is from the same Berkeley study, and it quantifies the amount of monetary waste that's caused every year due to this problem. The study found that $100 is wasted per shower facility per year due to this issue, which means about 20% of the water and energy of every single shower is wasted on average. If you expand that problem to the average hotel, which has about 300 rooms, that's $30,000 being wasted every year. If you expand it further to every shower across the United States, 2 trillion gallons of water, 1 trillion kilowatt hours of energy, and $50 billion goes down the drain every year due to this problem. Clearly, there needs to be a solution. And the solution is the ShowerStream. ShowerStream is a smart shower head adapter that screws on in between any existing shower head and shower arm as easily as a light bulb. It's similar to an automatic hand washing system. So if the water is warm and the bather is not in the shower, the water shuts off. When the bather returns to the shower, the warm water automatically comes back on, saving the customer water, energy, and money on their utility bill. The second part of our solution is our hotel software dashboard. So our customers can see their savings in real time, as well as gain real-time maintenance benefits, such as scalding water alerts. When the shower is clogged, they'll get an alert, or when the shower has been on for an extended amount of time, they'll get an alert. We currently have 2 pilot customers, and I'd like to introduce you to them now. The first is Mehul Modi. He's an independent owner-operator of 4 economy hotels in Texas, and his profit margins are razor thin. It's about $100,000 per year across all of his properties, and his small business association lending limit is capped at $5 million, so he can't raise more money to expand his properties. Mehul loves our product because if he installed our product in every one of his 500 rooms, overnight, his profit margin would increase by 50%, $50,000. As well, our product is also certified with the Public Utility Commissions of Texas, and it's certified to increase building efficiency. So if Mehul installed our product in all of his rooms, he could prove to the Small Business Association that he increased building efficiency, and they would give him an increase on his green building loans, allowing him to expand his properties and increase his profit. Our second customer is Dave Zita. He's the procurement category director at the IHG Corporation. IHG is a $10 billion corporation that has 5,000 properties around the world. Dave's job, his goal every day when he comes into the office is to hit sustainability goals and find products that give him and the IHG Corporation a competitive advantage. And that's exactly why he loves our product, because our product gives IHG a green-facing image, as well as gives them, if installed across their entire franchise, a potential to increase their profit margin by $20 million per year, giving them a key competitive advantage against other big hotel organizations. We currently have 5 paid trial offers, and our first hotel trial is currently underway at the DoubleTree downtown in Austin, just a few blocks from here. We also have a $15,000 pre-order from a different customer, and we have a large corporate pilot in the works with IHG, which is being spearheaded by Dave Zita, who I just talked about on the previous slide. Our closest competitor is Evolve, just because they've sold the most products. However, they have a key technical difference that does not allow them to install in hotels. EvaDrop and Driblet are only low-flow solutions, which hotel owners hate because it decreases guest satisfaction, and Amphiro only monitors shower savings. It doesn't actually provide any, meaning ShowerStream is the only smart shower for the hotel market. We have a great team with a lot of experience and background. I'm Ian Howard. I'm the mechanical engineer. We have Greg Floyd, who's our founder CEO, and we have Rahul Verma, who's our data scientist. We also have a great advisory board made up of entrepreneurs, engineers, and experienced hotel executives. We've currently raised a seed round of $365,000. We're an NSF SBIR Phase 1 awardee, and we're currently raising a Series A of $1.5 million. By the end of this year, we'll complete our final product design, and our goal is to launch our product by Q1 or Q2 of next year. So in summary, our market validation is complete. We have big customer orders waiting, and all we need is investment to ship our orders to our customers, and the $2,000 from this competition would help the founding team keep food in our stomach and roof over our heads while we raise our Series A. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. All right, we're going to open the floor for some questions. If we want to start with our judges, if you guys have any questions for Ian.
So you mentioned the PUC approval. How important will rebates be to your business model?
So our business model kind of comes in 2 directions. So we're coming from the independent owners of hotels, and then we're coming that's the bottom-up approach, and the top-down approach is from big organizations like IHG. So when we're coming from the bottom up, these rebates are extremely important because these business owners, like Mehul, work on razor-thin profit margins, and in general, they have a lot of debt, and they want to expand to increase their profit margins, which our product allows them to do. So in summary, it will be very helpful with the bottom-up approach, not as helpful with the top-down approach.
How long do the devices last, and what sort of maintenance is required?
So our final product will last 10 years or more. And the only maintenance that will be required is the same as the maintenance already required for shower heads. So in Texas, for example, the main maintenance that's done on the shower is the showers get clogged often because there's a lot of sediment in our water here. So the maintenance that the hotel owner would usually do is dunk it in a bucket of cleaning fluid to dissolve that product, the buildup, and put it back on the shower. So basically, they'll do the same thing that they've already been trained to do with shower heads, just with our product.
Is there something similar available for the consumer market? And is that something that you plan to address as you expand, or are you going to stay focused on the hotel market?
So our first target market is hotels. And the reason why is because the value proposition for a hotel that has hundreds of showers is much stronger. Our plan is to, yes, expand to the consumer market, and we're going to use the hotel market, our success in the hotel market, to do that. So when hotel guests come into the hotel, we will have a hang tag on the shower explaining our product, a little bit about how it works, having our logo, our website. So if they like the product, they can easily go to our website and buy it there. So it will be available to consumers, but our initial target marketing will be solely towards hotels. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, and I'd like to welcome our third finalist up to the stage, Mandeep Patel, the co-founder for Sun Company.
Hey everybody, my name is Mandeep, and here at Sunco we work on making better solar trackers. So the team is quite small. Myself and Taylor Zhao, we're both graduates of UT Business School and a combination of engineering. One of them is better than the other. But the reason why we went into the solar energy market is because it's growing incredibly fast. We have a 30% growth rate in terms of the amount of new energy generation coming from solar in the United States. One of the biggest barriers to its adoption, however, is cost. The average residential system would cost $13,000, and that's a lot of money. That's a new car or a new kitchen. Instead, you're putting solar panels on your roof. So historically, the way they've reduced the cost is through the reducing cost of the panels themselves, but that has started to flatline, and people are now looking towards solar panel tracking as the newest step towards reducing cost, with 90% of all new panels being installed having some sort of tracking mechanism. The problem with the current systems, however, are that they have a lot of components on them, and each one of these components increases the cost. It also increases complexity, which only leads to increased maintenance expense. Altogether, this will increase your infrastructure expenses by approximately 30%. So what Sunco did was it reduced a lot of these components and made a much simpler system. Before we get to that, let's just quickly talk about how tracking works. Essentially, it keeps the panel facing the sun throughout the day. And in this still frame, you see that around 11 a.m., the actively tracked system is putting out about twice as much power as the stationary panel. The way our system works is through the use of shape memory alloys. These alloys contract when they're heated and expand when they're cold. So it allows us to use it as both a motor and a sensor. And if your kids have ever had braces, it's the same metal used in those. So this is a prototype, one of our very, very first prototypes when we were starting the system, and it's incredibly simple. On the left-hand side, you have steel springs, which keep the panel in a sunrise position. There's a pivot joint, which allows it to move throughout the day. And on the right-hand side, you have shape memory alloys, which when heated, contract. So as soon as the sun passes the midpoint in the horizon, it starts to heat the springs on the back end of the system, compressing them and pulling the panel in that direction. Once the sun sets, those springs start to cool. The steel springs push it back towards a sunrise position. So in our 3-month test period, we found an 18% increase in efficiency as compared to an active tracker's 40%, which is less, but we're also 90% less expensive than the actively tracked system, which cost anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. And again, we're able to achieve this through the use of shape memory alloys. So this is a quick overview of our system. You see that it has only 3 main components, and it's very cost effective. And what this means is you have a $500 system that increases efficiency by 18%, and a small added benefit, when you get rid of all those components, you also reduce the amount of CO2 output and the manufacturing process by 14%, making this a truly green technology. So let's quickly talk about some of the risks and mitigations. There are 2 main ones. So because our springs contract when they're heated, weather variations throughout the different seasons were something that we had to consider. And in our testing, we found 2 solutions around this. The first was to use a fluid medium, which would allow us to retain heat better whenever a cloud passed overhead or if some type of cooling event happened, such as rain. And the second one was chaining springs that activate at different temperatures, which allows us to track the sun more effectively at a different temperature range throughout the day. The second one is manufacturing. We're actually talking to 2 manufacturers, and we've established partnerships with one manufacturer in California by the name of Dyna-Alloy, and another partnership with a manufacturer called FW Metals up in Fort Wayne. Both of these companies have assured us that they can supply us what we need, and so we're very confident that we can grow. The last one being competition. Again, our cost advantage gives us a huge edge over any of the other products on the market. So there are 4 main impacts that I want to consider. The first is how we operate. We're super cheap. I mean, like, we are super cheap. We dumpster dive in the machine shop at UT to get parts and test. And we also are finalizing our patent right now, and lawyers are really expensive. So in terms of our future outlook, again, we're only $500, and we have relationships with our manufacturers. In terms of the social impact, we all know what the benefits of green energy does, making our environment cleaner. But more importantly, the economic impact is what we're really trying to drive. Our goal is to increase the amount of green jobs here in Austin and make it what Houston is for oil and gas. We know that green jobs have an average income higher than most other industries, and we want to bring those here into the Austin area, and we believe Sunco can do that. So, thank you.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. One question I have is, as I'm looking at the panels, right? I mean, I live in a neighborhood. I've got people with panels all across their roofs. Do I require the same number of panels across that same surface, or are you guys, shrinking that space and still increasing that output in that production?
Yep, so that's actually a key competitive advantage that we have. We're able to reduce the number of total panels you need on your roof. A lot of times customers end up not installing panels just because their roofs can't support the load. So our system is a lot lighter. Increasing efficiency further reduces the amount of panels you need. So it's a key residential advantage.
You mentioned a lot of statistics around the percentage of new installations that require tracking systems or are being installed with tracking systems. Does that apply to both the residential and commercial markets? And which one are you going after first?
Yeah. So my co-founder and I go back and forth about this a lot because the industrial tracking market that's where all the cash is. That's where we'd like to go first, but it's also a couple of higher barriers to entry. This is very unique to the residential market in that there are no other trackers that you can use in that space. So there's definitely an advantage for us to move there first. So in short, to answer your question, we're debating between the two markets. We see that in commercial installations in developing countries where capital is a lot more scarce could definitely take advantage of this product. And in the residential market where there really are no other options, we definitely are a great new one.
Can your trackers work with any panels, or do you have to? Are you going to be developing strategic relationships with certain panel manufacturers, or how does that work? Who's your customer?
Yeah, so our customers would be solar installers, people that already have their own operations. So it costs anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 to acquire a customer. We're not going to do that. We'd rather license the technology out or partner with an installer to get them out to customers that want them. As far as what panels we use, it doesn't really matter. We do have a very unique new design coming out that helps us track flexible panels, which would then be specific to flexible panels, but we don't need to work with any particular manufacturer.
Very quickly, where are you guys now with respect to product delivery and everything else? Where are you with customers and pilots, et cetera?
Yeah, so we're actually looking for a place to do our very first pilot, and we're also trying to partner with the Weber Group at UT to test the panels independently. That way we can be more than just two recent grads saying, hey, our thing's really cool, please buy. So that would be the next step. We're working on the IP protection. That's one of our number one. So we had 3 main objectives: IP protection, supply chain, and getting third-party verification. We've got supply chain down. We know that we can get the product when we need it, but now we're working on IP protection, third-party verification. And hopefully we can do our first test case coming this spring.
Hi. Is this on? Yeah. What's your warranty on the whole package, like the springs, everything?
Yeah, so our manufacturers tell us that they'll last for 10,000 cycles. That means that they'll last for 18 years. But we want to be a little bit more conservative, especially if we're going to put a warranty on that. So we did some endurance testing, and our best ballpark is 12 years. We'd warranty them for you for 12. If you're our first customer, maybe we'll do something a little more. But but a standard warranty would be about 12 years.
For 12 years, how does that jive with a PPA? Like, that's typically going to be like longer.
Yeah, so there's two things that we're trying to, because a power purchase agreement is generally a lot longer than that. So you'll come into agreement with an installer that says, hey, I'll pay for your panels and we'll take the electricity for X number of years, then you get them. So we would necessarily then, we'd have a halfway point where we say, hey, we have to put them in again. That's obviously factored into the cost, but we're still 90% less expensive. So we could replace them 2 or 3 times, still get you good returns. Yeah.
Hi, you said in your presentation that competitors can increase generation by up to 40% with the tracking systems, and yours is about 18. Do you see any chance in you getting that number higher so that you can compete a little bit better with that market? Even though there's a lot less components, do you think that this system could keep increasing that generation?
So to be completely honest, probably not, because those systems are dual axis trackers, meaning that they can move this way and this way. We can't necessarily do that without a lot of added complexity, which again defeats the whole purpose of the product. We're probably capped at our upper limits at about 25%, but the benefit here being because it's so much less expensive in a country like India where there's plenty of real estate, or even here in Texas where we have lots of land that we don't even do anything with, we could just add another panel and another tracking system and get to those same returns. Yep, so this is going to vary greatly depending on who's going to do the work. We actually have been looking at a lot of the stationary panels on B-cycle stations. Those can be retrofitted, but it would require us to cut the pole, add a different mount, and then put the system on. So the answer to your question, yes, we can. The price varies greatly depending on who's going to be the subcontractor that does it.
All right, and we're headed into our last and fourth finalist. If I could please have Josh Duke, the Director of Business Development for Z-Bikes, please come to stage.
So first of all, I just want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank AYC for hosting the event. So my name is Josh Duke. I'm the Director of Business Development here at Z-Bikes. And what we're here to do is to truly bring sustainable solutions to solve the urban mobility crisis that we're currently seeing in this country. So just for perspective, what is the urban mobility crisis? So right now we have massive urban population growth. So we're all very familiar with that here in Austin, being one of the fastest growing cities in America. But across the globe, 3 million people move to cities every week. So currently we're at 54% of the global population in cities, expected to go up to 68% by 2050. That is billions of people moving to cities. What problem does that create? Massive traffic congestion. Again, another problem we're all too familiar with here in Austin. So what's the cost here in the US is $305 billion, and that's from a significant report done by INRIX. And so that's $35 million per hour that we are collectively throwing out the window just being stuck in traffic around urban centers. Time-wise, that's 6.9 billion hours per year that we're just wasting sitting in cars around cities. Then we also have to be thinking about the environmental destruction. You know, we all need to be thinking about greenhouse gas emissions. So here in the US, just due to idling, sitting in traffic, 180 billion pounds of CO2 was emitted. And then the other thing that happens, you know, us being concentrated in cities, is the air quality degradation. Again, all things that we need to be thinking about. But there are solutions for urban mobility. We've been exploring them for, you know, some many years, some just several. So car ownership, once again, is pretty much what we all do. But we also have rideshare, who here uses Uber or Lyft. Pretty much all of us. It's been a mass adoption very quickly. Then you also have car share. So Car2Go and Zipcar are your top two. Anyone here use car share? Not as much, but again, still plenty of people use it. It's a great solution. And then the newest person to the party is scooter share, bike share. So Bird and Lime are your electric scooters, and then Jump and Pace are bike share programs. All dockless, they do provide a good solution, but they also come with problems that we need to look at. So these are things that are happening in our own backyard right now. So here in Austin, we had a lady that made national news due to ADA compliance issues that she could not get through her normal path because these scooters were scattered about in the sidewalk. Again, things that we just need to be thinking about. And then up in DFW, what you're seeing up there is called a bike graveyard. So this is one of the largest bike share companies in the world called OFO, and they left a lot of markets, including here in Austin, and when they left, they just left the bikes. And then they just fill landfills. And so that's what, can potentially other companies can do. So we have to question the sustainability of their business practices. And so what we think is personal electric vehicles is one of the most ideal solutions for urban living. And here's all the benefits. So the cost of ownership is quite low. Charging is very easy. You can plug the batteries. They're removable, so they can be taken out of the vehicle, or you can plug it right into the vehicle. Function is very high. It's just like owning a regular vehicle. Parking becomes quite easy. Who here likes to drive around searching for parking spaces? One person, great. Practically no one. And so that solves this issue. Anyone that has a bike or a motorcycle can speak to that as well. And then city support is quite high, especially here in Austin. We have between $100 to a $400 rebate for purchasing of these vehicles. And the other big point is personal electric vehicles, which we have a full line, which is one of the only companies in the US to have that. So personal electric bikes, electric mopeds, and electric motorcycles. It's complementary to all the other urban mobility options that we just discussed. And one thing that we have been exploring and building out, which is what we're excited to launch here in Austin, is a subscription model, which we see as probably the best model to be adopting these vehicles compared to the pay-as-you-go scooter share, in which you pay a monthly fee for electric bikes and electric mopeds initially, but then we will do it eventually with electric motorcycles. And it's just like a cell phone. This is really the next revolution in terms of mass hardware adoption that can also be incorporated into smart city initiatives, and the smart technologies that you can incorporate into these things is quite incredible. So it's a very exciting time to be in this industry, and we're certainly looking forward to continuing to evolve the urban ecosystem. So we are Z-Bikes. I'd like to invite my other two founders up to answer any questions that you guys have. None? Okay, we'll leave.
So are these, you're leasing these to people? Are they purchasing them?
Yeah, so we're currently selling them, and then we're going to be launching a subscription model, which is, it's similar to a lease or a rental. You're going to pay a monthly fee to have access to this, and it'll come with, various levels of benefits that you can get. Starting at $99 for the bike, and then $149 for the moped.
Or you can
month.
just purchase one if you want to.
Or you can just purchase it. Yeah, correct. So we're still going to operate with a sales model, but we'll offer that subscription because we have a showroom up on Guadalupe, just north of the university. So we literally have, especially college students, coming in there every day saying, "Can I rent these things?" So we'd be silly not to listen to them. So that's why we're switching over. Yeah.
And what is their how far can they go before they have to be recharged?
So it depends on the battery size. So with the bikes, they're typically, and then also if you pedal. So you have 3 different modes. With a bike, you have regular pedaling, pedal assist, and then you can go full electric. So you just, turn it on, do the throttle, it goes 18 miles per hour. So those can go up to 25 miles on a single charge. And then obviously with a larger one, so like that motorcycle, which can also be upgraded, but this is a good starter bike, goes 45 miles per hour and just over 50 miles in range. So it provides solutions to different people, depending on, whatever your distance is. So it's kind of like concentric circles of, this will be, we'll be able to tailor it to, okay, you're only traveling 5 miles, the bike is your best option, or, goes further.
And can they plug into the existing charging systems, like around the city, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of charging it, you can plug it into any wall outlet, things of that nature, so. Licensing requirements? So with the bikes, it's a bike. You don't need a license. But yeah, with the moped and also the motorcycle, I mean, you can drive around without your M-Class license, but if you get pulled over, you're going to get in trouble. But yeah, no, those do require the M-Class license, yes.
And what does that entail?
So it's actually very easy. So we recommend people, I mean, eventually we're going to have a certification like that, but right now we recommend people go to Electric Avenue, which is another person in the market that's selling electric vehicles. And yeah, it's a very short course that you go through, and then you just take an online test. So
how do you ensure that the wheels are not stolen or there's not a lot of vandalization?
So in terms of potential security issues, the personal electric vehicle offers some very interesting options. So because it's electric, we can institute different security measures that you couldn't do with a regular bike. So something like a static lock, which will literally lock the wheels in place. Like you cannot take it off. But in terms of, obviously we can't control people being vandals. People are going to be vandals. But there's definitely some very interesting security features that you can add to a personal electric vehicle that can better ensure, the security of that vehicle. Yeah.
So, how are these y'all's like proprietary designs? Are you manufacturing them? Are you purchasing them from a manufacturer?
Here, I'll hand that over to our CEO. He's the manufacturer.
Yes, so as far as the designs that we have currently being proprietary, we have exclusive agreements with our manufacturers for distribution in the U.S. Now moving forward, we do have the manufacturing capability to change designs very easily. So in the future, when we settle on specific designs that we want to keep for the long haul, we'll go and get IP and everything on those particular designs. But from a manufacturing perspective, we have exclusive agreements on the distribution. So.
Okay.
Sure. Josh can take that.
Yeah, so we're currently in a seed round, aiming at 2.5 million. We could get this off the ground very successfully with $500,000, but 2.5 million will. That's what we're going after for the current time. Yeah.
I have a question about the bike. Have you guys ever considered or even thought about with pedaling it still charging the battery so that way that the life cycle of the battery can last longer?
Oh, yes, we absolutely have. And it is possible the technology exists to incorporate into the vehicles, especially for the bicycles. But that will raise price points, and we want these to be affordable, right? We want them to be practical, reliable, and affordable, which means cutting out some of the higher end bells and whistles, so that way more people who need to be using them have the ability to do so.
Okay,
right. But yes, we have thought about it and can't wait for the high-end versions.
And another question is, are you guys going to have the motorcycles to go a little faster than 45 miles per hour?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, we already have 2 other models, and this one as well, it can be upgraded to 75 miles per hour with an 80-mile range. So yes, we already have them that already go faster, but we didn't want to bring them in today.
One more question. So why are the manufacturers, if they're producing these, why aren't they just direct selling them to consumers? Kind of where, was this kind of y'all's idea to just take electric personal vehicles and kind of make it a consumer-oriented business, or kind of where does that fit in? Like,
well, I mean, with your manufacturers who produce these vehicles, they're on a massive supply chain level. So for them to try and have their own branding separate from that and move that into a different market is very challenging for them, should I say. And we established the business relationships with the manufacturers in the confidence to get the exclusive agreements in order to bring that over here.
Yeah, one thing, I'm Michael, by the way, one thing that we wanted to follow closely was the guidelines for the pitch, and that only gave us 5 slides in 5 minutes. So there are a few things we didn't go over, but Taylor and I, we met in China, where we both lived for many years. I lived in East Asia for about 11 years, fluent in Mandarin Chinese. Taylor lived in China for about 4.5, 5 years, where he ran factories and R&D projects over there. So we were able to spend a lot of time finding the best quality manufacturer we could in China. And I think, I don't know if it needs to be said, but here in the US, these type of vehicles have not quite gotten to mass acceptance, whereas in places like East Asia and in Europe, they already have. So our experience there, along with following the market trends here in the United States, led us to come here and test this out. So we have an exclusive agreement with our manufacturer. They helped us design these vehicles. We've already opened up our store. We've already almost sold out of everything we had. So now as we move forward, pivoting not only from our sales model, but also to this subscription model that really solves the problem of the current kind of vehicle sharing industry, then we're going to decide definitively on the models that we're going to carry, and we're going to get proprietary rights to them. So I hope that answers your question.
Hi, how do you address safety concerns? Are you going to offer a helmet? And how would you, or does that affect expanding it all into other states that do require helmets when you are biking in a city or on a motorcycle?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the great things about the subscription model is you're able to build in benefit packages with that, right? So for the motorcycles or the mopeds, insurance could be built into the subscription. Locks, helmets, things like this, of course, that's all going to be a part of the subscription, putting less liability on the consumer, yet receiving all of the benefits.
All right, thank you guys. I just want to personally thank Josh, Mandeep, Ian, and Robert for being here and presenting. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us. We're actually going to get into the voting. Do what? Oh, we're going to get to the voting portion of this. So again, just want to give everyone a round of applause. Thank you guys so much. You're doing some great things here for our community, so we appreciate it. Let's see if I can manage this here. We're going to go to voting. So if everyone can take a look at the screen, you'll text the number on the screen, and voting, if you text the number 1 for Grub Tubs, number 2 for ShowerStream, 3 for Sun Company, and 4 for Z-Bikes. So we're going to give you guys a couple minutes, and no big rush. Think about it. Take it all in. Again, these guys are doing some great things for our community and finding some sustainable solutions here in Austin. So yeah, we'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for casting your votes. We really, really appreciate it. I want to first just let everybody know what prize we're giving away. So we're actually giving away a $2,000 cash prize to our winner, along with some in-kind sponsors for valued at $5,000. And I want to go over those real quick, which includes a 1-year elite membership to Austin Young Chamber, 3 months free rent at Capital Factory, Global Conference Roundup ticket for 3-day startup, the LLC formation from the Haney Law Firm, and business coaching session from the Economic Growth Business Incubator. So some really awesome things for our finalists and our winner tonight. So right now I'd like to invite Jackie Mayo from the classes. She is the classes and events coordinator for the City of Austin Small Business Program, and she's going to be presenting our award tonight.
Well, good evening, everybody. And you guys have stuck it out tonight. It's been a long day, but congratulations to you guys for making the finalists. I know you're just say our name and get off the stage. But before I do that, yes, my name is Jackie Mayo. I'm with the Small Business Program, which is a division of the Economic Development Department. And we provide support to our Austin entrepreneurs, just like you. We offer training, classes, business coaching. Earlier, I had put a services sheet in your seat that kind of lists out all the services that we provide. I also have a card out there with the class and events schedule on it. And, we're here for you. We want to help you get the skills that you need to be a better entrepreneur. So look us up. We are a great resource for you, and we only want you to succeed. I want to close by saying thank you to everyone in the audience. By the way, take that food, please. I want y'all eating all that food. You guys were great today. Thank you for choosing the winner this evening. And I want to thank the Austin Young Chamber. Where is everybody? You guys have done a phenomenal job putting this all together, and every quarter is something new and something exciting. This is my third one, and I was just blown away again by just the sheer talent of our finalists. It's scary. I also want to give a very big thanks to the Austin Central Library. They have become a fabulous partner for us. We try to schedule as many class offerings in the libraries throughout the city, and we always want to make sure that we're available to you, and the library is just a wonderful place. They really have been a great partner to us. I also want to thank two Austin city departments, Austin Resource Recovery. Anybody from? There they are, Natalie. And the Office of Sustainability, excuse me. I think, Mary, you're from the Office of Sustainability. Both of these departments provided valuable insight to this pitch, so thank you again for all you've done. Now I have a couple of little fun facts for you about the Austin Public Library. Did you know Recycled Reads is the Austin Public Library's used bookstore, which opened in 2009, and to date has kept approximately 4 tons of material out of the landfills in support of the City of Austin Zero Waste. Recycled Reads receives all of the Austin Public Library's discarded materials, as well as donations from the public, and which are sold, reused, repurposed, recycled, with all the proceeds benefiting the Austin Public Library. And also, something I did not know until just recently, the Austin Central Library, this beautiful building, has become the second public library in Texas, and the first City of Austin building to be awarded the LEED Platinum status under the International Green Building Rating System. And LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, which was developed by the U.S. Green Building Council. It's the highest level of recognition to be awarded. I'm not going to read you all the things that got them their top score, but some of the things include recycled content, water efficiency, transportation, connectivity, just a whole host of things. And so this lovely library is one of a kind. Well, 2 of a kind. Whatever. But again, congratulations to the library on this very distinguished honor. Now, who wants to know who won? With that, without further ado, please join me in congratulating our winner tonight, Sun Company.